Okay, so this first video is on the nature of God. Now, this question is a very sort of open question. We can draw upon a lot of information about what God is like, okay? It is likely to come up as a describe question or an explain question rather than an evaluation question. Now, if it comes up as a describe or an explain, the first thing that you really need to remember is, you can have four of them, are the omnis, okay? So firstly, God is omnipotent. And the reason for this is you can link it to the creation story about the fact that God created the world ex nihilo. The impact that this would have on Catholics in their lives, so when you're doing the therefore part, you can say, therefore, this helps Catholics to understand that anything is possible with God, which strengthens their faith, etc., etc. Now, when it comes to, that's omnipotent, when it comes to omnibenevolent, we know that God is all loving because he sent his only son to die for us, so that we could gain salvation, we could go to heaven. He also is omnibenevolent because he designed the world, made it beautiful for us, put us in charge. What's called the impact of this is that when someone shows us love, what do? We reciprocate that love. We show it back. So the next one is the fact that God is all-knowing. How do we know that God is all-knowing? Once again, he created the world out of nothing. Or you could say that all hairs on our head are numbered. It means that he knows us that well. The impact of this is that it means that it helps us understand that God is superior to us. Okay, that he should be worshipped. Or you could say that it helps us to understand, once again, that anything is possible with God. The final one is that God is omnipresent. And the reason for this is that he is present throughout the world that he created, but also through his other creation, humanity, okay? He is present through us. So this helps us to understand that we can experience God in lots of different ways. It could be that we are sat, looking at the sunset over a beach, and we might think, wow, God is great. He has created this world for us. But it could be through other people when they put God's teachings into action. So when they show love to one another, etc. Okay? So those are the four omnis. And that's what I would talk about if I was going to be doing this as an explain question. But if it's a describe, you need to mention obviously more than just the four. So you can talk about the fact that God is the Father. And the reason for this is that he is the person who created us and gives us rules to follow, such as the Ten Commandments, all right? And sort of the impact of that then is that we should treat him like a father. So we should turn to him when in need. We should follow his commands. We should show him love, etc. You could also say that God is transcendent. Now, what that means is essentially that he is better than us. He is greater than us, all right? And the reason for this is the fact that God is described as being all of the omnis, okay? And that he created the world out of nothing, and that he is what's called the Trinity, so he's able to be one and three, okay? The impact of this, once again, is that God should be worshipped. Anything is possible with God. The final thing maybe you want to mention is the fact that God is the creator, okay? And you link that to the creation story, and then about how the fact that we should look after the world. We should fulfill our role as stewards, which means that we should care for the world. So that is an overview of the nature of God.